These aren't games you finish in a weekend. They're worlds that pull you in and don't let go. Every quest, every battle, every quiet moment feels alive, until you realize hours have turned into days. These are the adventures that stay with you long after you've put down the controller, stories that become memories, and universes you can live in for hundreds of hours or more. Whether you love massive RPGs, open worlds, or story-driven adventures that completely take over your free time, these are the games that make you forget the real world exists. They're the kind of experiences that keep you saying, just one more quest, until you look up and realize it's 3 in the morning. So grab your snacks, settle in, and let's count down 10 single-player games truly worth every hour you spend in them. Coming in at number 10 is Days Gone. Yeah, it launched kinda rough, and no one's denying that, but over time, this game quietly transformed into one of PlayStation's most underrated open world games. You play as Deacon St. John, a drifter, a survivor, and honestly, one of the most human protagonists in any zombie game. It's not just about mowing down hordes, it's about the grind to stay alive, scavenging for scraps, fixing your bike, and counting every bullet like it's your last. The Pacific Northwest setting is gorgeous but cruel. Dense forests, abandoned highways, and towns swallowed by nature. And when those hordes come running, it's pure chaos. Hundreds of freakers moving as one unstoppable wave. It's one of the most intense sights in gaming. But underneath the survival and blood is something personal. Days Gone is about loyalty, loss, and what it means to keep going when everything else is gone. By the time you've cleared the map, upgraded your bike, and seen Deacon's story through, you haven't just played through the apocalypse, you've lived it. At number 9, we have Mountain Blade 2 Bannerlord. If you've ever dreamed of ruling your own medieval kingdom, this is the closest you'll ever get. You start as a nobody, broke, outnumbered, and armed with little more than a rusty sword and ambition. But give it a few hours, and you're leading your own army across a living, breathing continent. You'll manage trade routes, negotiate alliances, forge weapons, and command hundreds of soldiers in massive real-time battles. Every fight matters, every loss hurts, and every victory feels like you just carved your name into history. What makes Bannerlord so addictive is that it never tells you what to do. You write your own story, whether that's becoming a noble ruler, a feared warlord, or just the traveling merchant with a dangerous hobby. No two playthroughs are ever the same. The world keeps moving, reacting, and evolving. Blink once, and suddenly 150 hours have passed, and you've conquered a kingdom that actually remembers your name. At number 8, we have Cyberpunk 2077. When it first launched, this game was an absolute disaster. Broken quests, glitches everywhere, and a reputation that nearly killed it before it had a chance to live. But CD Projekt Red didn't walk away. They rebuilt it from the ground up. Years later, Cyberpunk 2077 finally became what it was always meant to be, a true next-gen RPG. The updates refined the combat, improved the AI, overhauled police systems. Everything feels sharper, more responsive, more alive. And then came Phantom Liberty, the redemption arc. That expansion turned Night City into one of the most atmospheric worlds ever crafted. The lighting, the story, the performances, it's cinematic in a way few games ever achieve. Deep character builds, branching storylines, and some of the best side quests in gaming. You can lose yourself for 100 hours in the lights, the chaos, and the choices that define who you become. What started as one of the industry's biggest failures has evolved into one of its greatest comeback stories. Proof that sometimes, second chances are worth every hour. At number 7, we have The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. There's a reason people are still playing this game over a decade later. It's not just a game anymore, it's a ritual. Every player has that moment, stepping out of Helgen, hearing the wind roll across the mountains, and realizing you can go anywhere. That freedom never gets old. But what's truly kept Skyrim alive is its modding community. Modders have turned it into an endless fantasy engine. New quests, survival mechanics, texture overhauls, entire expansions built by fans. You can make it darker, colder, harder, or turn it into something completely new. It's one of those rare worlds where just one more dungeon turns into a sunrise you didn't plan on seeing. 12 years later, Skyrim isn't dying anytime soon, and neither is your next playthrough. At number 6, we have Red Dead Redemption 2. Few games capture emotion like this one. It's slow, deliberate, and breathtakingly detailed. The kind of experience that makes you stop and just exist in it for a while. Every campfire conversation, every ride through the mist, every stranger you meet along a dirt road feels handcrafted. The level of care Rockstar put into this world borders on obsession. And then there's Arthur Morgan, a man caught between loyalty and redemption, watching the old world fade as the new one closes in. His story hits harder the slower you take it. You'll pause missions just to watch the sun drop behind the mountains, or listen to a distant train roll by. Because Red Dead 2 isn't about rushing through objectives, it's about living in that world, one sunset at a time. Easily one of the most immersive 100-hour experiences ever created. At number 5, we have Baldur's Gate 3. This game is a modern classic, a digital Dungeons & Dragons campaign that reacts to every decision you make, and sometimes every mistake. You can charm your enemies, betray your friends, or accidentally set an entire camp on fire. And somehow, the story still finds a way to make it all fit. The sheer amount of freedom is insane. Dialogue, combat, exploration, everything bends around the choices you make. Every character you meet feels alive, with their own motives and secrets, and every action you take ripples through the world like a spell that never fades. 100 hours later, you'll realize you're not at the end, you're only at the beginning of your version of the story. Because in Baldur's Gate 3, every choice is a new timeline, and every timeline is worth exploring. At number 4, we have Horizon Forbidden West. This game is living proof that sequels don't have to just repeat what worked, they can outshine it. Everything about Forbidden West feels bigger, smarter, and more alive. The world is bursting with color and mystery. Dense jungles, buried cities, deserts that breathe under shifting light. The mechanical creatures move with the grace and danger of real wildlife. And every encounter feels like a dance between man and machine. What really sets it apart are the details. Side quests aren't filler here, they tell stories that matter, introducing characters you'll actually remember. Combat is fast, strategic, and endlessly satisfying, whether you're sniping weak points or chaining traps in mid-fight. And then there's the photo mode, so good it's practically its own game. You'll stop mid-battle just to frame a perfect shot. Horizon Forbidden West isn't just an open world, from the largest vista to the smallest ruin, and it rewards every second you spend exploring it. At number 3, we have Ghost of Tsushima. This game is pure samurai cinema, a playable Kurosawa film brought to life. Every frame looks like a painting, from the wind-swept fields to the blood-soaked duels at sunset. The attention to detail is unreal. Every leaf, every gust of wind feels like it's carrying meaning. You play as Jin Sakai, a samurai torn between tradition and survival, forced to choose between the honor he was raised with and the tactics he needs to save his people. And that inner conflict defines the whole experience. Every duel feels personal, every strike has weight. You're not just fighting enemies, you're fighting your own code, your own identity. What makes Ghost of Tsushima special is how quiet it can be. One moment you're locked in a deadly standoff, the next you're riding through fields and golden grass as the wind guides your path. It's a meditative experience disguised as an action game. You start out swinging your blade, and by the end, you're questioning what kind of warrior you've become. And at number 2, we have Elden Ring. From Software took everything they learned over the years and built something bigger and something way more legendary. Elden Ring defined what exploration means in a video game. It doesn't tell you where to go or what to do, it dares you to step into the unknown and carve your own path through it. Every hill hides a secret, every ruin whispers a forgotten story, and every horizon tempts you with something dangerous, mysterious, or breathtaking. Sure, it's punishing, you'll die, and you'll die a lot, but every failure teaches you something. Every small victory feels earned, and that's the magic of it. The world isn't just open, it's alive with wonder and dread. You can feel the history in every shattered castle and haunted swamp. Elden Ring isn't just about defeating bosses, it's about that pulse of discovery, that feeling when curiosity outweighs fear. It's a brutal, beautiful masterpiece, and easily one of the most rewarding 100-hour journeys you'll ever take. And finally, at number 1, we have The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. There's a reason this game still sits at the top of almost every best RPG ever made list. It didn't just set the standard for open world storytelling, it became the standard. From the first time you ride through Velen's war-torn fields, to the quiet moments spent playing Gwent in a smoky tavern, every inch of this world feels alive. The side quests aren't filler, they're full-blown stories, often better written than most games' main plot. Every choice you make carries weight, every conversation changes something somewhere, and the writing, the characters, the voice acting, the sheer humanity of it all, it's still unmatched. And in both expansions, Heart of Stone and Blood and Wine, you're looking at over 150 hours of world-class adventure. The Witcher 3 isn't just one of the best 100-hour games ever made, it's one of the greatest experiences gaming has ever produced. A reminder of why we fall in love with these worlds in the first place. And before we hit the credits, let's give a quick nod to a few other games that could have easily made this list. Assassin's Creed Valhalla, a sprawling Viking epic overflowing with content. If you crave exploration and endless side adventures, this one will keep you busy for weeks. Next we have Monster Hunter World, a masterclass in combat depth and progression. Every fight feels like a boss battle, and every monster tells its own story through the way it moves. Next we have Fallout 4, still one of the most addictive sandboxes ever built. The settlement system alone can swallow days of your life before you even touch the main quest. Next we have Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen, a cult classic RPG full of strange systems, intense combat, and endless replayability. Next we have Divinity Original Sin 2. If Baldur's Gate 3 is the new school evolution, this is its spiritual ancestor. Deep, tactical, and brilliantly written, it's proof that turn-based RPGs can still hit just as hard. Each of these worlds could have easily stolen 100 hours of your time, and honestly, they probably still will. And there you have it. These are the games that don't just fill your time, they define it. You don't play them to finish, you play them to escape. These are the worlds that stay with you, the ones that pull you back even when you swore you were done. So tell me, which ones stole the most hours of your life? Drop your answer down below, I read every comment. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and leave some suggestions for other kinds of lists you might be interested in seeing. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.